This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Farmer shot a teenager wounded in St. Thomas shooting. A farmer was killed and a teenager wounded in a shooting in Top Hill, St. Thomas Tuesday night. About 8:20 explosions were heard in the community. Rupert Francis, 51, was later found lying in front of a shop with a bullet wound to the head. The 18-year-old student was shot in the groin. Mr. Francis was pronounced dead at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Jamaica gets a fertilizer donation from Morocco. Jamaica has received 24,000 bags of fertilizer valued at $122 million from the Kingdom of Morocco. Agriculture Minister Pernell Charles Jr., who made the announcement on Wednesday morning at a media briefing, said the donation was based on the ministry's assessment of crop and soil fertility needs. The minister said the Kingdom of Morocco will also provide further technical assistance to examine Jamaica's soil fertility in order to address some of the underlying issues within the farming sector and to provide technical training as well in soil fertility analysis for some of our staff. He said this would help Jamaica to achieve higher yields and a greater efficiency.
This donation forms part of a larger and more substantive technical assistance program that will examine Jamaica's soil fertility in order to address some of the underlying issues within the farming sector and to provide technical training as well in soil fertility analysis for some of our staff. And this is essential because we're taking an empirical approach to agriculture so that we can have higher yields and greater efficiency. It is within that context that our farmers who have been placed in a very serious disadvantage given the increases globally for agricultural inputs will embrace and accept this gift and this donation as forming part of the broader response to the current inflationary prices and pressures that they're facing, and not only farmers, but all participants along the value chain. And during the sectoral presentation, I will have the opportunity to go into more detail regarding the actions to be taken as we move into delivering the inputs and agricultural inputs in terms of our response to our farmers during these difficult times. And so we are in dialogue with our partners to ensure minimal market dislocation during the distribution process that will be managed by RADA and by the JAS.
One Don Gang trial adjourned until May. The One Don Gang trial has been adjourned for 7 weeks. Hearings are scheduled to resume on May 2. The prosecution on Wednesday requested an additional 2 weeks for hearing to resume. However, before granting the 7-week break, Chief Justice Brian Sykes noted that the Hillary term ends on April 8. Last Wednesday, the prosecution requested a week to analyze a report from the Communication Forensics and Cybercrime Division. When the matter resumed in the Home Circuit Court this morning, the prosecution disclosed that transcripts of secretly recorded conversations involving alleged members of the One Don Gang are still incomplete. Man killed in motorcycle accident on Old Hope Road. One person died as a result of injuries received in a motorcycle accident along the Old Hope Road in Kingston on Sunday. Police have not yet revealed the name of the victim. Videos circulating on social media showed the driver of the motorcycle and a woman pillion rider traveling along the Old Hope Road in an unsafe manner. The driver then lost the control of the motorcycle and swerved into the opposite lane of traffic into an oncoming Toyota Probox. Both passengers were thrown from the motorcycle. It is not certain if the driver of the Probox sustained injuries in the incident. FLA under fire for unclear gun license revocations. Government Senator Charles Sinclair sought clarity on Tuesday concerning fit and proper requirements for licensed firearm holders to maintain their permits, arguing that licenses are sometimes revoked by the Firearm Licensing Authority without a clear explanation. An attorney at law, Sinclair said that he is aware of instances in which persons take in their firearms in compliance with annual registration requirements, and their permits are held by the FLA on the basis that they are subject to investigation. However, he said that the individuals are not told specifically the reason why their license have been withheld. When the person is submitting their application for a review, they are operating in a blind fashion. They don't have any understanding why it is that their firearm has been revoked, said Sinclair, while discussing fit and proper provisions in the new Firearms Act 2022. The bill is being reviewed by a joint select committee of Parliament. This term is being used, and it has been used against the persons in a manner that prejudices them immensely, he said. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Mulhou Fort pointed out that the legislation sets out the criteria for firearm license approval. She argued that the fit and proper requirement has to be considered in the context of the qualifying and disqualifying provisions in the statute. There is an ongoing duty on the authority and the board to be satisfied that the holder of an authorization remains fit for the duration of the authorization, she added. However, Sinclair said that he was aware of cases in which the FLA had taken persons' firearms for more than 3 years in inconclusive investigations. He complained that during that time, the property of the individual is being held by the authority. Meanwhile, chairman of the committee, Dr. Horace Chang, raised a concern about the backlog of appeals before the review board of the FLA. Chief Executive Officer of the FLA, Shane Darlin, told the committee that the agency was now reviewing a backlog of appeals dating back to 2020. They are meeting more often now. They met twice last week, so they are moving apace to clear the entire backlog, said Darlin. Jamaica testing for BA2 Omicron variant. The Ministry of Health says it has been testing COVID-19 samples to determine if the BA2 subvariant of the Omicron strain is present in Jamaica. Dr. Melody Ennis, Director of Family Health Services, affirmed that the country has the capability to test for the subvariant with its genome sequencing machines, but said she had not seen where we have identified that new variant in the country as yet. COVID-19 cases are rising in Europe, with an increasing number being attributed to the prevalence of the BA2 subvariant. At the same time, Dr. Ennis said there continues to be a decline in the number of people receiving the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. She revealed that just 6,562 people were vaccinated last week. We are coming from a high at the beginning of the year where we were vaccinating about 18,000 persons per week, so there is a decline. What we have also noticed is that persons are not coming out for their first dose. They are coming out for second dose and a bit for booster, but the first dose persons are not taking up the offer at this time as we would like, she disclosed. Relocations on the horizon as a railway project expands. As the government looks towards expanding the recently resumed passenger rail service to more parishes across the country, Minister of Transport and Mining, Audley Shaw, has issued a warning to those who have built structures on railway land. Persons who have constructed on the railway did it at their own risk. We will have to reclaim our railways. The rail system has got to be restored in Jamaica, he said during a Jamaica Labour Party Area Council meeting in Chapelton on Sunday. He added that a special review will be done in cases where houses are involved, but he made it clear the expansion will move ahead. The previous minister started a train service from 2 locations, and I believe that going forward the train service in Jamaica must be restored. The rest of the world has now used the technology to improve their railway services, while ours have been closed down for 30 years. We need to restore the rail service in Jamaica. Apart from the students using it now, it can be expanded and will be expanded, Shaw said. He was responding to a call from Member of Parliament for Clarendon Northern, Dwight Sibley's, for a rural school bus system in the parish to alleviate increased bus fares. Shaw pointed to the train as the solution. There is now a train service that has been put in place to ferry 400 St. Catherine students to and from school. The plan is to expand that service and eventually have the trains roll across the country once again. A part of the larger plan is service from Montego Bay to Appleton Estate as a tourist attraction. After that leg, Shaw said the service would be expanded from Montego Bay to Kingston. The trains, he added, must come back. I'll be looking very carefully at how we can design a program, especially in areas that are most affected with high volumes of children, so that we can create a special bus service, he promised. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.